I haven't had trouble getting up so far this semester, but this morning I was in a deep sleep still when my alarm went off. I don't know why. I went to bed at 9. What's funny about that?
Nothing.
Well, I get up at 5:30.
I go to bed at 7 p.m. for sure. It definitely wasn't up till 1.
What time did you get up?
10:30. And then I ambled my way over here.
So I'm going to, in addition to the polka dots, I'm going to put some stripes on here. Now, something to think about is I'm putting an opaque glaze on top of this. So it's a risk what I'm doing. I don't know if, well, I do know. You might not know if this stain is going to leach through in the firing, but I happen to know that this will, or it should, burn its way through that Shino if applied thinly, but it'll be subtle.
Is there examples of the oxides somewhere? Like what the oxides look like?
Yep. Stripes and polka dots.
If you already use a stain, do you want to put that on before the glaze?
Well, that's a good question. Like, so if this were transparent, you'd be able to see that, right? But if it's opaque, like I know that this will subtly melt through that Shino because I've tried it before. But you might want to put it on top. If you put it on top, it's going to be much more articulate. So I don't have it down here right now, but
there's like a picture up there that has a similar like.
Right there,
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. So that, that's on top,
Okay.
and then the line, the horizontal line through the middle, that's just a finger wipe, like wiping the glaze away. So that it's like there's a little bit of glaze there, but it's pretty thin and just wiped away. So yep. Connor, will you grab me a sponge? I know you're not in the class right now, but you're there. What? Oh, yeah. Thank you. So I got, just from touching this thing, I got a bunch of iron on my hands. If you don't want your pieces to get smudged up, it's not a bad idea to just have a sponge around. This is what I do at home. I just have a wet sponge around and I always just keep cleaning my hands off. But now I'm actually going to remix this because they can settle on that one at a time. Now it's time to put the glaze on there. I could use one of these, just dip it in here and then pour it into this and then pour it out. But another thing I can do is just do hemispheric dipping. Go as far as I can. So you can see those polka dots. Oh, that's weird. So there was wet iron. Oh, that could be cool or not. So there was the iron, because I just brushed it on, it beat it up on top of that wax because it has nothing to grab onto, so it beads, and it was still wet, and it flowed into the glaze right there. I could have let that dry, or I could have just sponged it off. Likewise, the Shino here has beaded a little bit. You can blow it off, or you can just tap it off with a sponge. Some of the glazes, this one's a little bit thicker in application. Some of the glazes are really like much more liquidy in application, and you don't get that beading on top of the wax. It'll just like go like into the porous areas. And then what I'll do is just do the other side here. Now, what's the problem?
The bottom.
Why is that a problem?
Because if you
Exactly.
That's what I was going to ask, if you want us to wax resist the.
So this, that right there, that's a chunky monkey. We're gonna want to get rid of that because it's too thick. So we want, and it's just because the bottom of this has a little gunk on it. I didn't do a superb job of mixing. But I just was able to just wipe that off. That probably would have, because of how thick it was, it maybe would have like crawled up or even like crackled off. But back to the main question, this business down here. If you have glaze on the bottom like this, you need to sponge it off.